Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living Communities of Columbia and Greater Baltimore. Today is November 13th. And this morning I'm reading from the Practitioner Handbook, and it is written by Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell. And I opened it up to chapter 23, page 137, Thoughts on Miracles. And here's what the first two paragraphs offer us. Most people think of miracles as events where it appears the laws of the universe have been circumvented, and something impossible or something that appears supernatural happens. In the Bible, the miracle of the loaves and fishes, feeding the multitudes, the healing the blind were all miracles. For many people, when something looks like a miracle occurs, it's as if they had no part in it, that God, or infinite intelligence, just took the bull by the horns and forced a change. We know that this is not the case. We know the universe rearranges itself around our state of consciousness, our consciousness as individuals, as a member of a family, our community, our country, and the world. The state of consciousness in the world is very clear from this perspective, which is why metaphysical teachings are so valuable today. And what comes alive for me in this reading is the opportunity for us to own the power that we each have. Good morning, Gus, you handsome self yourself. Good morning, sir. Because when we default to this idea of miracles, we're unintentionally disempowering ourselves. It's not about elevating the human self. It's about understanding that we are inseparable, that we are integrated, integral to the whole, that we are this infinite everything expressing individualized as each of us. And so being made out of it, we must contain it. The same creative process that we tend to attribute miracles to actually lives in us. And the more we own that, the more we're empowered to use it to impact change. And it can be a slippery slope, because if I focus on changing somebody else, now I'm trying to use metaphysics in separation. The amazing part to me in really practicing metaphysics, science of mind, new thought, whatever label works for you, is that we are participating in a wholeness. And so when there are challenges in the world where we're experiencing events and circumstances that are clearly out of alignment with spiritual principle, when we own the power within us to be a factor in the change, then we are empowered to change it. Not single-handedly, but by using principle, by using consciousness, to understand that thought is a movement of consciousness, that we are consciousness in form, and so our beliefs and our thoughts have power. Our words have power. And so instead of railing against what is out of alignment, the opportunity is for us to know the spiritual principle that we want to see and keep affirming that, to be that. When we're steeped in hatred, instead of hating the hater, instead of hating the hatred, to meet that with love. That produces what we often call miracles. And yet it's not miraculous at all. It is predictable. It is guaranteed that what we think and believe becomes experience. And so for me, the invitation is to know beyond this self, to know a whole self, a self that includes you, a self that includes people that my human experience tell me I don't want to be a part of, to stop identifying, to stop defining who somebody is by how they behave, and focus on the truth of them, igniting that and being that. Reminds me of, I believe it was Gandhi that said, be the change you wish to see. And we can't do that by hating the hater. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. We have lots of examples. We have lots of phrases that, we can put in the bumper sticker of our mind to help remind us. Doesn't mean it's easy. It just means it's simple. Right? And it means practice. And I think that's why we call it spiritual practice. Because it does take practice. Over and over and over. And so I'm going to read these 2 paragraphs again and take us into our time of meditation and invite you to just be present for 5 minutes with whatever comes up. Maybe you'll get a divine nudge on how to better embody, more fully embody the truth of who you are, how to better love beyond behaviors that are unlovable, to love the behavior, not the behavior. We are powerful and we are necessary and we have a lot to do if we're willing to do it. Here we go. Most people think of miracles as events where it appears the laws of the universe have been circumvented, and something impossible or something that appears supernatural happens. In the Bible, the miracle of the loaves and fishes, feeding the multitudes and healing the blind, were all miracles. For many people, when something that looks like a miracle occurs, it's as if they had no part in it, that God or infinite intelligence just took the bull by the horns and forced a change. We know this is not the case. We know the universe rearranges itself around our state of consciousness. Our consciousness as individuals, a member of a family, our community, our country, and the world. The state of consciousness in the world is very clear from this perspective, which is why metaphysical teachings are so valuable today. So let's take that into our time of meditation and contemplation. And so in this moment, I find myself filled with gratitude. Filled with gratitude at the recognition of one power that is everywhere present. One love, one life, one God, one creation, one source that is the substance of all. One creative process that creates out of desire to expand its experience of itself as creation. One infinite possibility that is everything seen and unseen, everything formed and unformed, infinite intelligence that holds everything in perfect balance, one whole, complete, and perfect consciousness that expresses, that simply expresses newness, never separating itself from itself. No other in one. Simply the multiplicity of expression. I am that in form. And what is true of me is true of all form. Every person, place, thing, every animal, every bird, every little creepy crawly on the planet, the cosmos, and elements of creation that I am even unaware of. All this one substance expressing itself, creating out of itself. Every form of creation must contain, must be the very essence of what is created out of. Just as water contains wetness at every form, every expression of creation, every expression of consciousness is consciousness in form, fully infused with the creative process, the power to use itself in freedom. Freedom from guilt, shame, and blame. Freedom from anything circumventing the process. And so I claim and affirm that humanity is awakening to this power that it is. That as it recognizes activity that is out of alignment with the self, the divine self, that inner self, that unlimited, unrestricted self, that it equally recognizes the power within it to move into alignment, to embody the wholeness, the perfection, and the completeness that it is. That each and every individualized expression taps into that ability, that innate knowingness to see beyond condition, to see beyond behavior, and to lift up that divine spark of the infinite within every expression of itself. to refuse to be limited by appearances, by circumstances, by situations. And even in the midst of the most chaotic storm, to anchor in the truth of peace, of calm. Even in the midst of what seems like complete idiocy, to anchor in the truth of infinite intelligence being present and calling that forth with joy, with certainty, with conviction. That beyond hate, to know, to be, to express only love. I claim it as so. I claim that humanity is awakening to the only healing that is ever required is a revealing of more truth, the truth of being. And that there is a recognition that revelation necessitates that it already exists. That there is no searching to find something that is missing, but rather a recognition, an ownership, an awareness, a revealing of what has always been present. The wholeness, the completeness, the perfection, the love, the peace, the joy, the beauty that is this one, fully present in each individualization of itself. And I give thanks. In this month where we have a single day to be grateful, I am grateful every single day. Grateful for the activity of law that has already received the word, already received the belief, already received the idea to be all that it is, to manifest creation in its complete wholeness. That thing we call utopia, that thing we imagine as a miracle, we imagine as normal, practical activity of law. And we claim it as already complete, recognizing that law never operates on the human schedule, that it is beyond the limitation of time and space and has already responded yes, already made it so. And so we let go of all of those ideas of limitation. We let go of all of the restriction. And we move through this day in the activity of expectancy. Expecting to experience the Word made manifest, expecting to be the essence of our being. Letting go of all the noise, letting go of all the what ifs, if onlys, letting go of all the noise of doubt and fear, and returning over and over again to the reality that it is done. It is done. It is done. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amin. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.